Industries. He is the Vice President, Marketing and Communication at Vandees, a pioneering food tech company in Nigeria. Please, apologies if I did not pronounce your name properly, Mr. Franklin, but you have the floor for 40 minutes. Please do go ahead with your webinar.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me just set up my presentation. And good evening to everyone, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be on this, to be part of this panel and to share some thoughts with you as well. I hope everyone can hear me clearly.
Yep.
Okay, can you see my screen, please? Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can from this side.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Margaret, can you see my screen? Balaji, can you see my screen? Okay, I'll go ahead. I believe everyone can hear me. So I've termed my own keynotes predictive marketing. I'll be talking about predictive marketing based on our subject today, which is confluence of creativity and technology. And I want to kick off with this slide, which is, if you want to innovate, then first of all, you have to design. And when I talk about design, I'm talking from a creative perspective in terms of how you produce, you develop a product or a service or a platform, but right from ideation. So this is a quotation from Matthew Newman, one of the foremost strategists in the world. It says, creative professionals in financial services, whether healthcare, media and entertainment, advertising, pharmaceuticals, must first act as agents of change, producers of intangible assets, and creators of new value for their companies. And I believe that is what most of us here that work in the marketing communications or marketing or larger advertising space, that is what we do. We are tasked with products, brands who want to either grow, create some form of value exchange in terms of how they connect with their consumers and vice versa. And one of the key things we always start with is, first of all, is how do I, first of all, ensure that I position my product, my service, or my brand to connect more appropriately. So it forces us to ideate and create new patterns and forms of exchange. So whether we like it or not, first of all, we are designed to be creative because we have to think about how to add logic in terms of research, data, insights, and lead to incremental growth in terms of how do I build a strategy, a document that can transform what we're doing here. But those things have to take an informed process, and that is where technology comes into play. So when we when you call us creatives, it means how we look at it from the consumer side in terms of consumer trends. What are we doing in terms of understanding trend analytics, the insights thereof, and applying them? How do we immerse ourselves in cultural exchanges, like we've talked at length here? How do we understand different consumer cultures based on the market where the brand resides, and how we want to connect with everyday trends that we see around the consumer? Because sometimes while you're producing or developing a particular product, trends move so fast in time. By the time you launch or go to market, new things have already emerged. It forces you back again to, continually iterate your product, because you can never use just one form of messaging or content for so far. And then more importantly, when you understand consumer cultures and you've immersed yourself in them, how do you ensure you connect at the most tangible level to your consumer? That means we must understand the contextual relevance. You must understand how it forms from a commercial perspective. You must understand how you bring creativity to bear from a data storing, perspective as well. And when we do this, it helps us informs understanding the new trends and models, which helps us build new behaviors by understanding the consumers, what they are into, understanding the patterns in terms of future wants and future needs, what the likely behaviors will be down the line, and how we can now create new products or platforms to ensure that we engage with these people appropriately. So every time we undergo cultural analytics or immersion into those trends. It helps us understand what the future threats and opportunities thereof, which beats your traditional form of research. Traditional form of research takes an understanding on learning in terms of what has happened to what is currently happening. We're talking about hindsight and insight, while cultural immersion, trends, and analytics helps us to do what is happening today and how can we create a scenario, 3 or 4 minimum in terms of what could likely happen based on this pattern of trend behavior over a particular period of time, and work backwards to start creating those services or products or needs that we anticipate could likely be what our customers are looking down the line. And this is why I said that is how we design the way forward. And that's where technology comes into play. But it has to, first of all, start with us using our basic sense in terms of our experience, in terms of how do we, first of all, imagine what could the future could be? How could we put in terms of understanding, using cultural foresight and AI filters to identify and invent exciting products. So first of all, it goes beyond the products and services that we offer. What technology helps us do is it helps us create systems and put systems into place so that we can scale appropriately. So first of all, you understand the product and what you want to do, and then the consumer. Next, you understand what the cultural leanings and biases are in that immediate environment, because how you would launch a product in the North, for example, is different from how you would do it in Accra or even the South. Even within a particular geographical terrain, let's take Lagos, for example, as a hub, how you would canvas a product to a particular audience and Lagos Island is different from how you would do it on the island. Because again, there are different metrics in terms of how behavior, even if you're talking to one particular type of customer. So data awareness is very key, which is why we're always talking about ensuring that everything we're doing is data-driven and data insights. But more particularly, what technology helps us do is now we can now also start developing the process at a point, even franchise the process out and then start creating our own platforms and franchise those LPs so that we can understand that there's a continuous loop from developing the product, but also sometimes it's also about ensuring that those systems and processes are into place. So for us to repurpose for market leadership, which is the larger theme of what we're talking about, confluence of creativity and technology, is to ensure that we adopt, intelligent technology matrix for operational efficiencies. And Obalaji has spoken a lot about this because it helps us not only automate customer experience around the product or the business, but also speed is essential for digital transformation, especially if you want to change a business model, as it were, when you think is not being used in the appropriate context. So when we're talking technology, if we want to break it down, because sometimes we say there are different aspects of technology, what does it really mean? It means different things. It could be how you bring about business transformation. It could be about the performance matrix you bring, about how you create diagnostics, or it could just be AI, data mining and insights, or even using machine learning to create more intelligence and building in terms of development ops. Now, let's take it into perspective. There are different sectors or industries that we work into. And marketers are seen as creatives because they help connect the brand, the product or service to the customer. So there's a confluence of how they use data, understanding of the product, of the market, of the category, understanding of culture and commerce, but also trying to also underpin how the customer would react, behave, or purchase that particular product, and there's a continual exchange of mutual value or this. But the more interesting thing is, how do you create that loophole? How do you create this emerging gap to ensure that you always create something that can actually solve a particular need or want? And there are different spaces we can play. It could be fintech, it could be retail, it could be games, it could be travel, it could be health. Whatever product or service or category we're working, one of the key things we do with technology is it helps us create a discovery window where we can ensure that we understand the context between what we want to share and how we can ensure that consumers create a form of transaction within it. And we've created this model that helps us put everything into semblance. So one of the key things is start with technology, because it is the ultimate platform where everything resides upon. And for certain categories, it is taken for granted that anything you're doing in today's world or today's business, you are using technology as one form of enabler to ensure that you connect with what you want, what you want to do. Now, when technology is into place, then the key thing is how do you create a transaction? It could be commercial, it could be corporate citizenship, it could be CSR, whatever it is you want to create one form of it. It could be even a freemium product. But technology creates that immediate hub where you can now say, now that you have this hub, how do I ensure that I create a product or a service or a platform that people can interact with? So transaction becomes that form of exchange and interaction. Once you've done that, and again, this could be either virtual, physical, or it creates a loophole where you can either do either a retail with physical of different means. Then you can start talking about how do you create continuous populism that people participate in this form of transaction, not only as consumers or customers, but eventually as fans and as advocates. And when you do that, what are the best measurements or forms of distribution? How can I ensure that I continually engage with this consumer or customer, whether it's B2B or B2C, in a particular format based on the data I get, based on the metric I see that there's a continued mentions and impressions, and then I can loop it all. Now, what the traditional business model, especially for marketing communication, is they're very comfortable with the two underpinnings on the right side, which is social and media. And right now, that space is very much democratized. We now need to be able to lean towards the left side and say, because of what technology is doing, is democratizing every key sector, and it is now even coming into the marketing communication space, which is why we call them MarTech, and creating new tools and services and products that we can use. Then it means technology has to be at the forefront of what it is in terms of how you can democratize a particular business model, create a particular transaction component before you even start talking about social or media. That is the only way you can create an immersive world or an immersive experience for the consumers and ensure a continuous loop within how we connect, not just only on a commercial level, but also a content, commercial, and engaging level. Now, we're living in a world where we said, people are doing different things now with AI. You can create an artwork, you can create an entire production format for a TV series being inspired. But one thing we can never do is still bring the humanoid perspective into it, because you still need some bit of emotional context, some bit of empathy in terms of understanding the residual ways in terms of how you can contextualize a particular data set to resonate with a particular audience. Everybody can have access to the same, whether it's ChatGPT or the data set or to a research document that you've investigated. But how you apply it is where marketers now come into. That's the part where there's a confluence of creativity and technology. Technology helps you scale, creates the formats, creates the platforms. But where creativity comes into play is how you can contextualize that format or that medium to a particular consumer model, knowing what will resonate and what will not. And that's where cultural foresight comes into play, because you are able to predetermine, you're able to predict based on particular trends and scenarios, 2 or 3 formats. If you do this way, this could possibly hurt the brand. If you do it on plan B, this could possibly like it. So I'm going to create 3 prototypes and I will ensure that I use technology to back what I'm doing. So the way we did marketing 10 years ago, whether it was 2014 to today, is very different from how we're marketing today. It's going to be different in terms of how we're doing it 9, 10 years down the line. But more importantly, if we look at short-term growth in the next 12 months based on data sets and this thing we have available to them, how could consumers in your particular category or sector possibly behave now in terms of how Dr. Agu gave examples of in terms of what we use particular platforms of, whether it's TikTok or so, how would they consume your product? Is it based on a knowledge perspective or from a pop culture perspective? Where does thought leadership come into play? Where does commercial or advertising come into play? You need to be able to create those loopholes to understand, where cultural ambience takes place and how you can ensure that you can categorize essentially what you're doing. And there's an example here. For example, if you want to do crowd-powered creativity, for example, it doesn't take you more than 10 to 15 minutes to go online now and source artists, designers, musicians across the world who can help you crowdsource a play, an ad, a book, or whatever it is you're working on, or even a particular project where everyone contributes because everyone has access to a particular set of technology. So right now, we are all creators. so to speak. We all create different things. But what you can never do is have particular context to local culture and relevance, and how that thing you apply can create meaning in terms of what you're doing. And I think that's where we always have the advantage. That's where creativity comes into play. So there's technology, but there's also the ensure that you can also create that immediate loop in terms of how you do. And these are some brands that have done that. But you can't, which is why we say global advertising is cool, all well and good, but you have to bring some of local context to what you're doing, some of identity that resonates with how you use a particular platform, whether in Accra or Rwanda, but it could possibly behave different. Even if you're talking about food, there's a way you eat food in a particular form. There's what you eat it with. There's what you remix it with. There's how you drink something with it. There's how you do a form of exchange that gives you so much value and appreciation compared how you do it, in Accra or in Niger. And that is where, your local insights and perspectives come into play. So when we're talking predictive marketing, or whether it's using the form of AI inclusion, then we're talking about understanding a scenario plan where we can forecast based on particular patterns and tracks over a period of time, and we can bring it back to understudy how we can create those products or services today, rather than waiting until a time where we have to react to it. There's a video here.
Big businesses and brands that suffered during the pandemic found their way back, but the smaller stores still suffer.
This lockdown has been a real tough phase of my life. I mean, I have seen bad days, but this was the worst.
Last year, we helped small businesses through Diwali. So this year, we decided to bring it back, presenting not just a Cadbury ad. This Diwali, we helped hundreds of small businesses by making India's biggest brand ambassador be their brand ambassador.
इस दिवाली आप भी ना अपने पास वाले फैशन ऑफ एम्पोरियम से ही कपड़ों की शॉपिंग करना, और फिर एम्पायर फुटवेयर नाम तो सुना होगा ना, अपना स्टाइलिश चश्मा बगल वाले हेवन आई ऑप्टिशियन से ही लेना, सिद्धि विनायक इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स से लेटेस्ट स्मार्टफोन खरीद कर धमाकेदार सेल्फी पोस्ट करना।
क्या कर रहे हो? मीठा लाए कि नहीं?
लाए हो ना यार, अपने पास वाले रोशन किराना से। आप भी अपना मीठा वहीं से लेना।
We used machine learning to recreate Shah Rukh Khan's face and voice to take the local store names in the ads.
इस दिवाली आप भी ना अपने पास वाले चॉइस ऑफ फैशन से ही कपड़ों की शॉपिंग करना, पास वाले आजकल फैशन से ही, रॉयल फैशन से ही, एनके क्लॉथ्स से ही, पास वाली लक्ष्मी कलेक्शन से ही कपड़ों की शॉपिंग करना। इस दिवाली आप
Different versions of the same ad with local store names were targeted as per the PIN code of the viewer, showing them only the nearby stores. But it is impossible to cover all the stores. So we gave the power to the people to create their own version of not just a Cadbury ad. Any small business owner could promote their stores through their own social media networks like WhatsApp forwards and other social media pages.
हमारे आसपास की जो दुकानें हैं, उनकी दिवाली भी तो मीठी होनी चाहिए।
Cadbury celebrations, not just a Cadbury ad.
Yeah, I hope you all heard that. So this is a very good example of how a brand uses AI to, scale their type of advertising, where it's not just the agency or the client creating the ad, but the customer also participates in the kind of ad they want to listen to and where they hear it. That's a beautiful example. But more importantly is the insights that informed this kind of thing, where they were able to predict for up to 6 months in terms of the kind of content or message that would resonate at a particular point of time and when they could do that. Now, if it was intuitive, it would be, I love this ad, it's magic, it's lovely, let's put it on TV, or let's use digital marketing. But using data set, it was able to scale properly in terms of when, where, and how it would resonate, so that it's not just an ad for the consumer themselves, but you also feel the message is crafted perfectly for you, and you also feel you're a part of that process. So that's what predictive marketing does when you use tools like AI said, especially when you do it very, very well. So it also helps us create, future-proof the kind of, strategy we're working on, whether it's a marketing plan or any other form of communication. Brands that do it very well include some of the brands, even in our own markets. Meta, for example, use that a lot in terms of the kind of things you click on over a period of time. AI uses it to inform the particular messages and stuff. When you've particularly liked, mentioned, or commented on a particular ad or visual, you begin to see that particular stuff being shared with you from your search engine all the way to your reels, all the way to your advertising, even to your email inbox. So it becomes an ecosystem that you're looped into that helps you predict a particular form of behavior, even up to a certain percentage in terms of how you would react or how much they could convert you. And these tools, most of them are even available. You can subscribe to them on an annual basis, so you don't have to create everything from scratch, but you can apply them to what we do. What we can now also add to it is in terms of how do you ensure there's a particular cultural relevance in terms of what you're using, because at the end of the day, that's where differentiation comes into play. So predictive marketing is very, very key, especially when we're talking scenario planning, especially when you're looking at what could be possibly things in terms of risk, factoring into risk, looking at terms of what if people do not respond the way you do, looking at it from a commercial angle. It gives you a safe spot in terms of how you can play and how you can do. But more powerfully, you can move quickly in terms of ideation to development and launch. Because you have these data sets and technology backing, you don't have to take the time. The traditional time usually takes us from ideation to launch, even from product development, because you can immediately iterate, develop a prototype, you can test it with a particular community, you can launch it based on insight information, based on credible percentage in terms of the conversion points, and then use storytelling to bring that perspective to life. So from business integration to developing unique pieces of content, to creating exponential revenue, to also unpacking your product from service to platform to ecosystem, and creating unique programs that are not just sustainable from a commercial perspective, but also from a participation perspective. Predictive marketing gives us that tangent that gives us, credible growth, a credible growth pattern than it would be if you are coming from a point of magic or emotional ambient only. It factors us into play, how we can credibly use this. And if we're using this ourselves, it gives us insights and perspective that we could even use for our clients and share. This is why I can take you, I can grow your business from group A to B in 6 months based on these data sets, based on these case studies, and based on what I've done in this year or this year market. So in closing up, and want to put our action into plan, it's not just about understanding and learning how these things help us into play, coming from a marketing comms perspective, but it ensures that we can also scale how we do products. When we kicked off, Lige talked about how he's also going into, creating platforms like influencer marketing stuff to ensure that there's a disintegration of how we use, how the agency business model is currently going. We discussed various options there are, but one key thing too is also about underpinning and deep diving into particular studies. In this part of the world, we don't have niche agencies or marketing perspectives, for example. An agency that understands thoroughly the fintech market and says, this is what we are specialized. We understand the full tech or the fintech, and that is what, or we're going to just focus on FMCG and the retail perspective. So we have a lot of players doing everything, which is why it's called integrated marketing, but we don't have specialists. And that's where the consultants beat us, because when you say, I want a thought paper or understanding of confectionery market from point A to Z, you find it wanting because you don't have that core subject matter experts from a business strategy perspective, to marketing, to communication, to creating product services, and even tell you how you can commercialize that. And I think that is one thing we can bring to play using AI and technology, because we can share our basic day-to-day services, which could be experiential, direct, loyal marketing, advertising, and what have you, that you work with a particular client. But you can also bring incremental value and growth by structuring the client's business and seeing how you can ensure you develop not just their products and services, but also create. Oh, sorry?
Yeah, so I wanted to give you a heads up that you have just 2 minutes to go. to round
Yes,
up.
on the last slide, actually.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you.
All right. So, but you can also create an operational system for their business. Take, for example, we're talking about a particular confectionery or a noodle brand or a drink brand. There's only so much it can be from point of development to point of consumption. Other key ways in terms of growing it vertically and horizontal value exchange would be in terms of how you can ensure that you create networks or platforms that those consumers can be a part of, not only from a communication perspective, but also from a real-time time sharing perspective, from a self-expression perspective, from them not just using mobile and bashing up, but also building different forms of distribution that you would never thought of relevant. Because when you only do communication in the traditional sense, then it's only just the brand talking to the consumer, but you can now develop an entire ecosystem that builds it. And once you've done it over a period of time, you can also begin to franchise that knowledge, because other people want to understand how you've developed this platform or this ecosystem, up to a point where you create developers that also drill and help you build that system again. That's when you start going into when we talk about, platform strategy. And so I think we are still in the building blocks of marketing and marketing communications. And I think as we go down the line and we build what we do, it only becomes a matter of time. The way we've democratized, and brought new energy and innovation to the financial services space, the MarTech space, we can also do that with communication, advertising, and I believe it's only time we can create unique perspectives. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Franklin. Very insightful. And I see that a lot of people enjoyed your presentations with the personalization videos that you also shared with us. I believe you have shared a very good insight into what technology can do in the marketing world. Quickly, we'll also have a co-discussion for 5 minutes each. We have Mr. Tola Elatui. I want to give you the floor for 5 minutes tops, just to give your thoughts and insights. Please, you have.
Thank you very much. And my name is a she, not a he.
I'm very sorry. Apologies.
It's okay. Thank you. And bringing me right after Franklin, it's not a good thing. So Franklin, I don't know why they always do this to us. And I'm told them not to do it anymore. Okay, but it's I think your session was really bright. And like I said, I was thinking in my mind about the personalization at scale. I also enjoyed Adeoye's session when he was talking about the precision to know what problem to solve. I had to write it down. He said there's the precision to know what problem to solve. From all of the conversations that have happened today, Dr. Emma gave his view, and Bolaji also spoke. So while I sat here and I just kept jotting and all of that, technology itself shouldn't be an hindrance. With marketing people, data is always something that either weighs us down, or advancements in technology is something we're skeptical to adopt. So a lot of times I'm even me myself, you know how it is when you are slow to adapt and you're like, hey, let's see how it goes. Let's see, Thread is a typical example. When Thread came, a lot of brands were hesitant to get on Thread. Like, okay, so what's happening there? What are people saying there? How does Thread work? And I'm like, so the digital agency gets back and say, hey, a couple of brands have jumped on Thread. Are you open? Do we create a profile for you? And I'm like, you know what? I don't even know. I'm not sure what that is. Basically, because, sometimes we're all acting from an intuition point of view rather than a predictive point of view. And, when we start leveraging technology, we start becoming more precise about what our problem is. We start becoming more enabled, and we start becoming more empowered to make the decisions that enable us to better harmonize the goodness that technology has to have. So I just wanted to throw a little bit more light on the opportunities that are there, because I know a lot have been said about the confluence. So a little bit about the opportunities, because so first, it unravels the boundless potentials that are there. From all of the speakers that have spoken today, from Bolaji to Dr. Emma to Bolaji himself and to Adeoye, or David Adeoye, everybody is aware of the opportunity and they're bringing it to limelight. So, And I wrote down unravel the opportunities, the boundless opportunities and the potential that continue to manifold daily. And the confluence is the captivating partnership. That captivating partnership is where the creativity actually comes in. And then, of course, the algorithms continue to work for us. The more you know your consumer or your customer, the better you're able to serve them. Once we have that technology support us with algorithms, we see that we have an enriching process. The ideation process is enriching. Customer journey was something we also mentioned today. It's enriching, and then we're able to become dynamic. And of course, technology should be a prime mover for all of the things and our perspectives. Technology should be a prime mover in aggregating all our contents for a better buyer-seller relationship management. But the challenge I also see, which is one of the things I also noted down, is that should creativity take greater importance, or should there be more focus on technological optimization? Because even as marketers, we struggle with that, and that's always been the question on my mind. So what should take more importance, my creativity or technological optimization? And I always come to the conclusion that technology and creativity can go hand in hand, because the essence is the confluence. And technology shouldn't hinder, but should be an enabler. Technology should be that one solution that enables you to become better marketers, and most importantly, optimize targeting for well-crafted storytelling. Okay, I would like to end there. Technology, the confluence here my takeout, and I want everybody to also, have that in mind, is the fact that the confluence of marketing and technology should lead to optimal targeting, optimal consumer targeting that enables us to deliver well-crafted storytelling that endears the consumer. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for sharing.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Tola Elati. So without further ado, I think Mr. Godfrey is supposed to be on this call, on this series. Oh, he's here. Mr. Godfrey Adejumo, you have the floor for 5 minutes also to add your insights, your contributions to the matter on ground now. I'm not sure Mr. Godfrey can hear me properly, but if he can have the floor for 5 minutes. Mr. Godfrey, please confirm you can hear us. We'd like you to also
while we're waiting for the panelists, can I just quickly make a comment about Franklin's presentation? By the way,
Yes, please.
Thanks, Franklin, for such amazing, all the time, value delivery always. Thank you so much. Loads of insight right there. And thanks for amplifying the thought in situ and in context. I just want to say that a lot of the things you've shared calls for a lot of sober reflection, and I'm not sure there's enough time to do that sober reflection. Thanks again, Dr. Tola, Dr. Ima, Bolaji, Funke, everyone who's a panelist. There's something powerful inside what you presented, and I just want to draw attention to that, frankly. And that is that through the line, we will not be able to do without technology in creativity, and creativity itself will also drive technology. For example, what businesses will buy will have to be designed. What individuals will buy from a business would also have to be defined by creativity, and vice versa. So I just want to say there's a reverse lookup relationship in between creativity and technology. From what you presented, if you consider factors like share knowledge, after you've succeeded, you now need to share knowledge about how you did it, and that's reverse engineering, so that people can use technology to now learn from your creativity. And that's a case of technology driving creativity and creativity supplying insight to technology or by technology. The big point is through the line, creativity and technology are also merging, meaning that we're going to see the same Siamese relationship in between technology and creativity in the coming years. And one of the eye of the storm is the product and use of product by consumers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adeoye. We have Godfrey Adejumo. Please confirm you can hear me. I see you are speaking, but we can't hear you. Okay, please. Good day, Mr. Godfrey.
I can't hear. If you can confirm.
Yes, I can hear you and I can see you. Please go on.
Okay.
You have the floor for 5 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to all the speakers. I just want to say that from my experience, I'll say, let's keep it very simple. If you're in this industry and you're still in doubt whether we should play in the place of predictive or intuitive marketing, you might want to have a rethink, because you have to be at the space where you lead. And the only way you can stay relevant in your space as a consultant, as an expert, is to move from that intuitive strategy to becoming predictive. Perhaps the last speaker, Stolar, was asking the question of creativity, technology, where should the swing be? I would say very confidently, it's a mixture of everything. And the reason is that I like to understand that you need to embrace making mistakes and normalize it. And this age that we are in, by our age, we're not born into technology. It came to meet us, so we cannot claim to be tech natives. But what we have found out is that it is possible. It's an enabler, it's an enhancer. Therefore, do not be scared to say, where should I go? We have stayed so long in the space of intuitive marketing, and we have seen some mistakes. The Western world is gone ahead of us because they've templated a lot of things. So the question is, why should we remain where we are when we can see the direction that the world is going? The first speaker mentioned, very first speaker mentioned that we are heading to a future that almost everything will become tech-driven, whether irrespective of your age. I heard that a grandmother is now making call with WhatsApp. I can tell you that some of the biggest conversations that happens in family groups, in social groups, in religious groups, they happen on WhatsApp. And if you look at the age bracket, it is purely an age that's driven by baby boomers. So if that age is already in the space of adopting tech the way they are, think of the millennials, think of the Gen Zs, think of the alphas that are coming. We need to begin to lead predictive conversation. Franklin has broken it down so simply in a simplified way. I want to challenge us that normalize making mistakes, be bold to embrace it, See, go ahead and fail. Let the world laugh at you. But guess what? The people that were late today, you don't want to know how many mistakes the Tesla guys made before they came up with that thing in a very disruptive and different way. You've got to understand that the future we are going to is a future that will be led by predictions, it's a future that will be led by pattern, it's a future that will be led by data. And that data does one thing. It helps us to understand where are they going, why are they going where they are going, why should I lead them? And you must play in that space. That is the only way you can remain relevant as a consultant. You can't be talking to me now as a consultant and be telling me you think. You must tell me the data shows. And I say, okay, where does that come from? Which demographics, which religion, which background, what's the age bracket? And I begin to look at it to say, okay, if that is it, where do I want to say? What do I want to say? How do I want to do it? The last but not the least part I want to say is that we must be in a space where we are visioning. Visioning is very critical, very close to what Mr. Franklin said, designing. You must ask yourself, what do I want to be known for? What do I want to be referenced for? What do I want to be remembered for? You vision all of these things and begin to unpack it. Whatever your answers is, begin to understand that that is where the predictions is going based on the data available. And I end by saying, please, by all means, tech is here, embrace it, do not be afraid. It is for good, it will make mankind better. I'm on my way home, I'm joining the call, I'm not afraid to say I will not be heard. Everybody is a global citizen. Your talent is needed across the world. You must not think, okay, the things we're going to develop now, let's not just start thinking, developing them for ourselves. Let's have a Nigerian app that the world becomes known for, like a TikTok, like a Facebook. It can happen from here. And that's why I'm so happy with what I hear Mr. Bolaji doing, trying to develop local apps for in terms of Mancom. I heard Franklin said when we had the catch-up, MadTech. Those are things that are with us. If we have these thought leaders here, why can't we have developers doing this thing? We template it, we commercialize it, we say Nigeria to the world. And that's where we should be.
All right.
So I conclude by saying that predictive marketing is the way to go, is the place to be. We should embrace it, be bold, don't be afraid of mistake. That's what I'll leave you with. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Godfrey. Dr. Tola, yes, I see your hands raised, but I would quickly want us to round up and we can take all the questions to finish the session today. Going on to the next speaker or should I say the last speaker, we have no other person than, yes, we have Funke Ogunshina. She's the business operations lead, business market engine, marketing and brand communication strategist. I want to welcome her to the floor so she can also give her insights and give us some very good insight into the technology and marketing world. You have the floor for 20 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, I think I'll be done in less than 20, but I really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you for the contributors. What has been said is the reality of what we currently have now, and that is why Market Engine is here. So beyond all the facade, we know where the trajectory should be, and hence why Market Engine has taken this on board, and we're doing this, incubating this for the past 5 years. I mean, beyond our incubation, we didn't just do an experiential, we did the work, actually how it should be. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with every one of you. Please confirm you can see my screen as I begin to take you into the world of Market Engine as confluence of creativity and technology. Please confirm you can see my screen.
Yes, Funke, I think your screen is very visible.
All right, thank you very much. So without further ado, like I already mentioned, Market Engine is the foremost technology-based marketing technology company in Nigeria. I really like the angle the MD, Mr. Bolaji, has already told us, how we emerged and we are now in the right place where we're going to be influencing the market in the new trajectory. We are in Yaba, and we are coming from the house of the further forward ideology. I will show you how that is. Like I mentioned earlier, we're not new in this business. We've been doing this process for the past 5 years. We're a focused continuum. We've been doing this as an hybrid process with different combination of assets, engagement, and solutions based on the technology needs and support based on technology. So that's what we've been doing. We're a subsidiary of Precise, you know where we are coming from. And like I said, we believe in the collective ideology of further forward. We believe that the future is defined by what we say it should be. And with the further forward ideology in marketing, we're no longer waiting for leaving it to chance. Someone like Mr. Dere mentioned, the Tesla did not leave that definition to chance. They took it on board. And if we in the marketing business, marketing industry are waiting for another geek to come and define how we should be doing, we wouldn't have an industry to define us anymore. Some of us have been in this line of trade for the past God knows how many years. So why are we not taking the trajectory and defining it further forward or future forward the way we want it to be? That is where we are. And one of the cool things, which I'm excited about, is the fact that we call ourselves, we make a simple solution. We make it a simpler way to winning in the marketplace. Just giving you a dashboard of what we currently do or what we have been doing. We do digital strategy. We do tech platform design. One of the key strengths we have is our product development processes. And for the past few years, we've been working with...
Okay, you need to move your slides. Your slides aren't moving. Adjust at the cover page.
No,
So
it's moving. I think there's a delay.
Just slideshow. Once you slideshow, it will move better. Slideshow, it will come up. Better now, better now.
All right. Is it changing? Please confirm. I've changed it to another slide.
Click on the screen with the cursor before you then move. It will move. That's the way. Okay, go on. It's on. We are part of further forward, Precise, yeah.
So, like I rightly mentioned, this is the household will be long, and these are some of the current portfolio or proprietary assets we've been developing to serve the market needs at different areas. Like the MD rightly mentioned, we've been working behind the scene with trade, on analytics, on influencer marketing, and even we're having a digital enabled production studio. So this pretty much just shows you a snapshot of the collective proprietary we have in Market Engine. And these are not limited to this. As you already have it, we said Springboard is our audio visual studio production. Please give me 1 second. I need to rectify why there is a delay. Please, can you confirm you can see the Market Engine with our proprietary assets?
Yes, we can see it now. Springboard, Excite, Brand.
All right, great. Thank you very much. And this is the array of the technology-enabled MarTech solutions we currently have. Our digital services are enabled by tech. I'll break down how it works and what we have done. Our creative solutions are also enabled by technology. Our production studio is also enabled, where you can also organically create your content and have it promoted in your convenience. When I say promoted, you have placement on it and you can determine what placement and how you want to make your revenue from your platform. And we also have the tech market solutions support. And I will show you a demo of how everything we currently have now works and what our future projection. So quickly give you a snapshot of Brantion, which is one of our key proprietary solutions. It's a social listening tool that crawls social channels to listen, track, and record brand conversations and consumer narratives. We've done a lot of this in recent, and this particular asset is ready for the market, at least for more. The MD said with the technology assets, you don't have a limitations to the number of people who can enjoy or benefit from the solutions it offers. So Brantion is a brand listening platform. So it's back in the days that you are doing your marketing engagement based on projection. So if you are running a campaign, you can categorically, based on predictive analytics, understand what is being said about your brand. The top of mind activity we are always being very intuitive about. With this particular platform, you can determine the numbers, you can see the numbers, you can see the mentions. If you are saying you are doing a top of mind awareness, why leave it to chance? Why leave it to the point of purchase? Why not be in the conversation, in the lifestyle of the audience? That's what Brantion is about. We crawl different social platforms and even blogs. And not just, when I say blogs, are not just limited to social blogs like we have it on Instagram. So everywhere online, once there is a conversation going on, and there is whether one way or the other, a brand mention, Brantion will crawl. So this is one of our very key proprietary assets. Just to show you a quick demo of how it works or how it works. So we are not seeing it as something that, oh, we just have an idea of. It's something that is already developed and already ready for the market. So it just give you a dash of the processing, the pricing, and how it works across from start to finish, like omni social presence. It just gives you all the possibilities. How you are able to sign up, key in your detail. I'm just going to quickly scroll past this. The detail will also be shared via mail after this session. So you see how this Brantion work and how you can also have your place effectively or your brand effectively on this. So you're not limited to any creative agency's deployment of your brand communication. This you can own, you can register, you can have a subscription and have it track your brand monetary or your brand mentions on a daily. So you're not waiting to see the end of engagement results or the end of campaign results. So this is very live, and it shows you everything from the trend analysis, audience analysis, brand and competition analysis, and even campaign analysis. So the possibility is very, very broad based on demography, sentiment. It is quite robust, which is why this demo is also going to be shared with everyone that has the feed or the recording from this session, so you can really take time to review in detail. Please, you can reach out to me, Funke, for how you can also subscribe to this platform in immediate. I am ready and available to respond to your questions as regards this. So moving on quickly, so boss or take so much of our time. This time is fast spent. So this is Brantion, like I also mentioned, like I mentioned earlier. So moving on swiftly is Trentium. Trentium, you'll be seeing a lot of Tion. It is because they are all analytics platform, digital and technology analytics platform. So Trentium is a campaign aggregation platform between brands and influencers. This platform allows direct engagement between brands and influencers. So it's back in the days where the agency or a digital agency can now propose some influencers based on the back-end information and the control they have with the influencers. With this asset, a brand person can categorically go on board and search for available influencers within the price point, within the objective scale that they want to achieve. And you can make your selection without, it's very, very fast and very automated. And I can assure you, it will also give you a review of the different tiers and categorizations of the influencers. from your very macro influencers to your very nano influencers, mindful of your key objective, the things you want to achieve, so you don't undermine the value each of these categorization brings to the brand. So this is an aggregation, and it really enables swift and very smooth accessibility. And you can also review and analyze all the engagement the influencers are doing right on this platform. So for me, this is currently in the works, about to be completed. I'm so excited about this because in recent times, we in Marketing have been doing a lot of influencer marketing. And I can tell you for free, very soon, the content we are going to be seeing beyond advertising is going to be originated by content influencers. So these are the ways we are able to aggregate the possibilities in influencer marketing and brand management. Like I mentioned earlier, we also have Excite Market, virtual marketplace. So Excite is a very broad portfolio, but the virtual place is a very unique marketplace where medium and small scale MSMEs can have their own virtual store. The difference for this is the fact that the package comes with branding, content creation, product display, marketing, visibility, and connection right here on the platform. And one added benefit is the fact that we understand that doing bookkeeping and just collating the proper recording of sales by these MSMEs can be very complicated. So we have simplified this by offering them business support tools. Very simple. Like for bookkeeping purposes, if you sell one, it records it. So you are not like we have it now in the marketplace where we see a lot of traders just doing it with their mind. The support is really completed with this package on Excite. And I have not seen, if you ask me, I've not seen this kind of solution currently in Nigeria, especially in the e-commerce industry. So we are coming big, and you'll be amazed by the time this really goes fully live, how a lot of people are going to catch on fully on the Excite virtual marketplace. Like I said, it's a very full portfolio. Part of it is also the Excite Trade, and those are some of the emerging platforms we are building under the Excite solution. Going quickly, just giving you a dash review of what the platform looks like via demo. The possibilities across different industry that the traders can register.
They can already go on iOS, or they can go on Google Play Store to download Excite Enterprise. The app is already off. We already have over 1,000 app downloads already.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for that support, sir. So, like I mentioned, another asset that we're also incubating and building strongly is the Springboard recording production team. So, we understand that there is a need for content. Why not bring a tech-enabled platform to ensure that the possibility is available for everybody? So this tech-enabled platform, or studio as it were, is not just going to offer different content creators some very unique, crisp video recording production or even audio as it were, but it will also offer unique placements for podcasters, for instance, where we know podcasting is the new way to go, especially with the Gen Z, having a platform where they can disseminate and share their points of view across different demographics and beyond boundaries. So this is a platform where we are aggregating placements, brand mentions, and even key production of your sound and audio at a convenience. This is also one of our incubating process or incubating platform. And I'm so excited about this one. So you're going to see how the placement, for instance, the innovative advertising placement is going to really define, the possibilities when it comes to generating incomes for content creators in very soon, very soon time. So just giving an array of what we do, we do social listening, digital analytics, retail support, and even trend spotting. Just giving a detail of what each of these platforms also offer across board. And one key thing that I also want us to pay our mind to is the predictive marketing that we offer. We do not do the basic, we do programmatic advertising, and all this you can determine your results before you even set foot to starting this. So these are some of the key things that we focus to do and are currently doing in Marketing Gym. Like I rightly said, we're not new into this. We've been doing this for over the 5 years, and I've been taking a lot of learnings, and we're all already in the works where we are taking, we're making corrections, we are taking adaptation. And one good thing about technology is it can be upgraded. So the learnings is not limitless, based on new trends, based on new lifestyle, based on new approach, or based on new innovations, as its case may be. We are taking a lot of lessons, and we keep reworking, and we keep building. We keep building. So just to give you a look at some of the things we have done, I said influencer is really big for us. I don't see any Coca-Cola engagement or new campaign that is currently going on now that we at Marketing Gym have not been doing the influencer marketing in a very unique, tech-enabled way. Just to show you a few of what we have done with one of the most recent campaign for this brand, giving you, the background information. And one key thing the client was able to extract from this is the fact that he is able to determine the KPI results even before we start the campaign. And this campaign was done pan-Nigeria. So the influencers had, we didn't have cost to pull people in and say, oh, we are debriefing, or even doing a virtual call was not even needed. Everything was automated using one of our platforms, which is Strengthion, to manage the briefing, to manage the results. And everybody just went into production and creation of the content. So let me just give you.
As we said, most welcome to have dinner with this dinner roulette feature from Coca-Cola. So this was very, very interesting. And guess what? Me, oh my God, so excited. Don't worry, I was ready to be wicked to everyone. Yes, I chose where we're going to order from, but I allowed everyone to order where they were going to have.
So one good thing about this particular campaign is the fact that the client was on board tracking and giving feedback right on that Strengthion platform. We had to create one specifically, and like the MD rightly said at the beginning of his presentation, was that we create made to measure solution, and this was specifically made to measure for this campaign for our brand or our client Coca-Cola. So like I said, it was done pan-Nigeria, and all these contents were all shared on that platform, reviewed on that platform, and engagements were all analyzed on the Strengthion platform. So it's not just limited to what we did on Coke. We also did the same with Fanta. We did the same with different brands. And one thing which really gave us the opportunity, I'm quickly going to show that, like I said, in the past 5 years. So this campaign was done at the early years, at the beginning years of trying the new digital direction. With this particular campaign, we did. So you can tell at the beginning of Nedu's content creation. So we did this. So this was done at the beginning stage of trying this out. We did this, and this is pretty much the backstory. And we did this across different key influencers at the time. So this was Arole also as an influencer on the campaign. So one good thing which really gives us a major key learning was that we did this during the lockdown. The lockdown, we know, really stored a lot of movement, and you know, the way people are, even kids, children, students were able to learn. But thankfully, with the platform, we were able to engage and drive an active campaign during the lockdown with the Rudicate mobile learning instant knowledge platform we did at the time. So we curated a lot of content and ran this campaign successful, a major successful campaign, digital wise, all enabled with our digital, or would I say tech enabled platform in the back end to ensure we're able to generate content, creative content, and also manage the content dissemination process. This was one of a key successful campaign at the beginning of our journey in building what we currently have as the solutions with our proprietary assets. So without the normal back and forth in a creative process, or would I say advertising process as it were, this was a very successful campaign that we generated at the convenience of our home and tracked, analyzed, and even ensured the process to distribution. And we'll all see, you'll see the results at some point in this presentation as well. Alrighty. So these were some of the results, the back-end results from this activity, and it goes all the way across all social platforms. And like we've been saying, it is predictive. The results, the insights will tell, and we can determine that. So thankfully, we also did this campaign at the time, also taking learning from this activity. But the good thing now is the fact that because of the success of this particular campaign at the time, especially for Texaco Avaline range, the brand is officially launching in Nigeria this year, and we will be the brand that is going to launch this. Is it going to be a very major campaign because of the technology solutions that is going to be supported to drive this campaign and even the launch? You'll be seeing that very, very soon. But at the time, this was the influencer engagement we had. We were able to drive with Frank Donga. Just giving you a shot to bring some memory. So yes, this really drove a lot of engagement when we ran this campaign, and these are the back-end results. And like I said, look forward to the unveil of the brand officially in Nigeria. So our current brand, like we currently have, and working with and building beyond what we also do with proprietary assets. We have Texaco, like I said, we are officially launching the Havoline range in Nigeria come this year. I would say you should look out for that. And we currently manage the recap portfolio led by Nature's Dental Touch and as well the Unistel energy brand. So kindly follow us across all our social platforms. On Instagram, we are Market Engine _. On Twitter, we are Market Engine. On Facebook, we are Market Engine. On TikTok, we are Market Engine TM. And LinkedIn, we are Market Engine. Thank you so much for making the time, for being part of the session, for all the contribution, for being patient, for some of us who have been here from the beginning of this session. I am so grateful. Thank you for making the time. And like we said, like my colleague, the moderator has said, this is a webinar series and it doesn't stop here. I will be sharing at least the recording from this session to everyone who has been registered, who have been participating from tomorrow. I will also ensure you are getting a special space come our second edition in September. I want to specifically thank Mr. Adeoye. Thank you so much for that insightful, in-depth analysis on the new direction we should be going as brand CMOs and business leaders in marketing. I want to thank Dr. Emma. We really appreciate you. We had a very short notice and you are right on time. I want to especially thank you. As well, Mr. Omotola, we want to thank you. And as well, Mr. Godfrey, and most importantly,
I think Dr. Elatui wants to ask a question.
Oh.
Please, I have a question. I hope.
No, time has gone, sir. But let me mention it. I'm sure that it was actually to David and Franklin. You know, I always talk about the originality and, you know, the notions on authorship and how technology is redefining the boundaries of narrative creation. So I don't know how long it's going to take for them to answer, but they can get back to me on it. That was my question. Thank you very much, Oga. Thank you, sir.
Okay, can I just respond?
And please, David, Adeoye, you still need to send those slides to me. I won't let you off the hook.
Okay, we'll talk more about that. The boundaries of narration and creative storytelling has just exploded on us. It has just exploded on us. AI and generative business AI has just done a lot of super amazing revolution. If I start to narrate the trends to you, it will shock you. We have, and frankly mentioned some of those trends. We have AI machines now that write stories from end to beginning. I'm talking about series. And you can type into the AI machine, can you make this a more thriller? Can you write it in French? Can you make this particular character? And it's going to write the whole series for you in a matter of minutes. The other part is that there are now, if you just merge what Excite is doing on the market front, and then you merge that with and give that infusion to your creative team as raw material for strategic thinking. And then you add elements like AI-driven listenership. So the core messaging of a particular marketing campaign, and you match that to the storyline of the influencer and the storytelling map of an influencer. When you use that, you can know who you should partner with a brand to get what problem solved. And this is the time, my last point, this is the time for marketing professionals to dig into the question that the PhD question, and Dr. Elatui is a PhD thesis, this thing you just said now. And marketing communication professionals should latch in now and give us African authentic solutions in that direction, because today it is still Western centric. And so we need marketing engine and other allied businesses in this terrain to give us our own indigenous moments in the life of the African consumer. There is the life of the African mother, the profile of the African father, the profile of the African son, paradigms like know the son of who you are. And that can be put into a story and infused into a brand, and almost everybody across Africa, whether you are Hutu or Tutsi, whether you are Soto, whether you are from anywhere in Zimbabwe, it's a moment that's known across the continent and across the Caribbean too, because we have the same nuance. So the opportunities are big, and it's the day for Africans to arise into answering this question for us because of our own indigenous brands and culture. So we don't get lost today in the coded bias element of the solutions of the West. That's my quick response to that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You want to wrap up, Funke? So I know our time is fast spent. It's already 7 o'clock. 8 minutes past the time. Margaret or Funke, thank you. You're on mute, Funke. You need to unmute.
Funke, we cannot hear you.
Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, we have audio now.
So much. Quickly want to also thank Franklin, and everything just it just made and just added up all together. Thank you so very much for everyone who have waited to the end of this session. We are going to be sharing the link recording for this session and even the presentations. And like we said, I am available. The team are available to clarify any questions. So I want you to be on the lookout for our next session in September. I believe as this has been a very eye-opening session and insightful one, the September one is going to raise the roof. So thank you so much. I will see you in our next one. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all the organizers. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bolaji. Thank you, Funke. It was a great session.
Yes, thanks so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Bye. Bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.